They said Gray paved the way, chased the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen, after some technical difficulties on our own end, we get to do this part 2. Salute to everybody that was inside. Actually, like, subscribe, share, all that good shit. So if you're watching this, subscribe. If you're listening on whatever your streaming platforms are, this is our YouTube. It's Urban Wrestling Network. Jump on here. Come say what's up if you want to see our handsome faces. If not, you like the audio aspect of this shit, stay on the audio, like it, share it to the peoples. It is what it is. This is how you help us grow our platforms. For all the people that stood there while MLW didn't have a live, right? We were doing the live. We were going to do the fucking live stream thing and talk and have some fun. They couldn't go on the show. Technical difficulties on their ends. We had Dark Ock and some of the others where they were just, shooting the shit with us, going back and forth. We had BBTV. We had Rob K. We had, obviously, myself and Muffins. We were all talking shit. Highlight of the damn thing, which was one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had in my life about a rat with fucking armor, which we were calling an armadillo. You had Rock the, what's that song?
Rock the Kabash.
Rock the Kabash.
By the Clash.
So that was a fucking topic. Listen, people stood on there for 2 hours with no MLW and just shooting the shit with us. We had a lot of fun doing what we do. So thank you for subscribing and all that good shit. We are finally going to be able to talk the show, right? So for anyone who is new to this, Muffins takes over from here. He has some questions, and I sit back and I answer some shit.
Yes. So we finally got the show on Sunday. I didn't watch it till later on that night because I was watching the football. I was watching my Titans get killed by the Chargers. So that came first. So later on, I actually, when everything was quiet, I watched the show. And then, I like to skip to some parts and ask questions because I'm interested in what Chef has to say about some other topics that I want to ask about. And one of the questions that I asked before we had the MLW technical difficulty bug hit us, I wanted to know how he feels about the direction of Alex Kane after taking another loss on another show. And since losing his MLW heavyweight title, he's only won like one match, and that was the Bomaye Zimbabwe match there. That he beat Top Dollar back in a couple of months ago. Yeah. And we were happy about that. And then since then it's back to losing. So Mr. Chef, man, what's going on with our boy, man?
So, like we'll always say, right? We support Alex Kane before any of you fake motherfuckers support Alex Kane. As soon as we got drafted, we was high on Kane. We was talking our shit. He started the Bomaye Fight Club after there wasn't America's Top Team, but he was in a faction with what's his name? King Mo. He was with King Mo. Then, obviously Bomaye Fight Club started. So we've been chilling with Kane for a while. We have every belt that he's won. We have interviews with. It's the big homie. We support the guy. We got nothing but love for Alex Kane because he's the truth. This was tough because we're big fans of BRG at the same time, right? Like, we love what BRG is doing. We love what the Rogue Horsemen are doing, right? Like, this is something that could be special. But, and I'm just going to throw this out there now. We're going to talk the show. But I'm going to tell you right now, the best matches on this card was Alex Kane versus BRG, Matthew Justice, and Bad Dude Tito. And that's it, right? Like, to me, these to me should have been the main event, co-main event. Everything else was good. I'm not saying it's a bad card. I'm not saying it's a bad show. It was a good show. But to me, these were the two best shows, the two best matches that could have been at the top. So we know what Alex Kane brings. You were high enough on him that you put the rocket on his back and put the belt on him. He killed it. Listen, that crowd is not an MLW crowd. Let's keep it 1,000. That is a lucha crowd. That's anything luchador they're going to chant for. Anything else? Maybe. You still had some Bomaye chants in that crowd, right? Nobody gave a fuck about BRG. BRG did, I like that he talked some Spanish, talked crazy to the crowd. He did his heel thing. He got absolutely annihilated. The Rogue Horsemen come in. They interfered. They beat up I would say Master Justice. They beat up
Mr. Thomas.
Mr. Thomas. They beat up Mr. Thomas real quick. And you see the quick roll up on BRG to Kane. You're like, all right, cool. Kane tries to rip him back into the ring. C.W. Anderson unlocks the chain. They dip. Now, salute first off to Kevin Knight for joining Bomaye Fight Club. I hope we get a really cool rendition of Bomaye Fight Club, what we've been asking for forever. But here's where the realness bothers me about wrestling. So 3 guys rush the stage, right? Now, if I'm in your crew, why am I not rushing on the stage, right? So Kevin Knight is nowhere to be found. They beat up Mr. Thomas, whatever. Cool. It is what it is. Alex Kane can't catch a win. This match, I get it. Because you go, all right, yeah, he took a loss, but he dominated, right? Like, this was not even close.
Exactly.
He manhandled from start to finish.
Exactly.
Yeah, he beat the piss out of BRG. He had him bloodied up and everything. BRG needed this win way more than Alex Kane because we've seen BRG take that stupid loss to what's that, Paul London?
Yeah, Paul London, yeah.
Which made no fucking sense because he was on a super high. We haven't seen Paul London again, right? So
he was before that, he was like 20 years or so if you watch Lucha Underground.
Yeah. So you sit back and go, what the fuck? Rogue Horsemen need this one. They're on a trajectory, and I'm all for it, right? I'm like, okay, I like what the Rogue Horsemen are doing. We're really excited. Another one of my knocks to Kevin Knight. And listen, I love what we've seen from Kevin Knight. Like we were saying before it got messed up, Kevin Knight had to alter his wrestling style to match a match with all these other guys, and he executed it perfectly. So salutes Kevin Knight. This brother can go. But if you're part of my group, how come you're not walking in with a freaking Bomaye Fight Club shirt?
Yeah.
You know who we seen with a Rogue Horseman shirt? BRG.
Exactly.
Right? So it looks good where those guys are repping their movement versus Bomaye Fight Club that's not.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I get it. It is what it is. But I love the match. I don't mind the ending.
Even Alex King came out in a white T-shirt.
Yeah, with the white wife beater kind of thing. Like,
hey, I'm thinking like, why he's not wearing his own Bomaye stuff too? So,
yeah, he confused the shit out of me. But we complain about factions that do this all the time, right? Yeah. Like, we see it. It bothers us. And I'm going to throw this out to you right now because, you know what? No, I'll wait because I know you're going to ask me about Al-Jefe. I'll wait for that. So what do you want to talk about next? Because
So then we move on. Like you said, Matthew Justice is the new middle open weight champion. Crazy match with Bad Dude Tito Escondido, which I don't know why they put the full name. Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, Bad Dude Tito pulls some maneuvers. I mean, he did like a pile driver maneuver from the apron to the tables. I'll say he killed Justice. Justice is dead. But Justice did the same maneuver he did back in March or May that he
with Kruger
from the top down to the bottom. So now he pinned him. He won the belt. So now he's a champion there, and I'm glad that they push him going forward. One of the matches that I did enjoy was Julian Esfoning. I think what was the name again? I can say Persephone. But I can say Persephone.
Oh, wait! Before you even go into this match or even say Janite Guy, before you do that, I'm big on intros, right? Like I love to see people's vibes when they're coming out. The Luvia girl, I was like, okay, she's a beautiful girl. Yeah. She understood. She came in kind of with that sexy shit, right? That Persephone girl, felt manhood to me.
Yes,
right. Like she was talking
with his cocky walk,
dude. I don't know this girl.
Hips. I'm like, they're like, hold up, there's some ghetto in this girl. Yo, like, she's not Mexican because they don't look like that.
I'm watching this, right? I'm like, I don't know her, right? I don't know her work. Now, granted, you know wrestling. I'm a casual. You're the wrestling fan. I'm a casual.
Well, I have mentioned that when she debuted a couple of years ago, she had a mask and they had given her a name like what Black Widow.
Yeah.
It was her first debut match. She came out into the ring. She ripped her mask off and said, "Nope, what's her name again?
Persephone.
I'm Persephone." And she went to Persephone from that day till now. So she did not feel whatever they were trying to do with her, and she goes, "No, I'm gonna go do my own thing. I'm gonna bet on myself." And this was a good match because at first Janai Kai kind of stood out, and you saw the two girls going at it in there. And I'm glad that they finally gave us some female Mexican wrestlers because this is the first time since last year when they had the show in Atlanta.
Yeah,
they had Mexican female wrestlers in the show, so this was good. They did their stuff. I mean, there were a lot of near falls, a lot of good moves. All three of them showed out. Janai Kai gets the win. How she pinned both of them at the same time. That was a cool move that she did.
Yeah.
My question now is this: 13 months of Janai Kai being the featherweight champion. She came in last October as the masked wrestler or whatever that she had on. Yeah. And she came in and beat Delmi Exo for the title. And since then, she's beaten everybody that she's faced, mostly Japanese females that they always giving her, and some matches outside of the pay-per-views.
Yeah, just some random fillers.
Random stuff. And then after the match, Delmi Exo came out, challenged her for a title match coming up. And hopefully we'll get it either in December as a one-shot thing or in January we'll get the match. But my question to you is this: 13 months of being the champion, don't you think it's time that Janai Kai loses that belt to someone else, or are they waiting to drop the belt to Delmi Exo?
So let me go back into Persephone
13 months, bro. That's
a long time.
That's a year.
So
a year.
Prior to this, I said I wanted her for a year, right? I said I want Janai Kai for a year. And
6 months is good enough. To me, it's 6
months.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, no, it is. It is. But you know my contra unit bias shit, right?
Yes.
So
but remember, she was in contra unit till what?
No. She was part of Salina de la Renta's thing. Yes. And carried over to contra unit. And I get all that, right?
3 months ago.
I am the biggest biased contra unit fan there is, right? I am.
Really?
I am.
Really?
But, well, no, I'm just being honest.
I know that's what I'm saying. Yes, really.
But for the last, say, month we've been doing this, month and a half, I've been saying, look, the well's running dry.
Yes.
Right? Like, as much as I love Janai Kai, as much as I think she's super talented, it also having only all these international wrestlers like the Asian girls, there's no real threat of in-house talent to go over, right? And then you have the randoms when they did the Tampa show where those girls have never came back, so she runs through them. They made it a point to say Janai Kai doesn't have minutes that last longer than 2 minutes. When you don't have substance like that, you get really bored of somebody quick. It's kind of like the Goldberg spear, right? Goldberg comes in, he spears one, match is over. You're like, all right, cool, whatever. After a while, you get tired of it. To me, these two girls, showcase better than I've seen anyone outside of Delmi Exo versus Janai Kai, right? Like, we know what Delmi brings. Obviously, the other match that she lost, it was a quick, like, she knocked her out real quick, and we were like, what the fuck? Delmi just got lost that fast?
Yes.
And then we had a triple threat match with Delmi in it, and it was all right. But we know what Delmi brings, right? Delmi is super talented, so we know if we get a legit Delmi versus Janai Kai with time, they're gonna kill it, right? So we're like, all right, Janai Kai saying, "Oh yeah, bring your ass down to the ring. We see what happens." Then one of those Sentai Death Squad tries to jump on Delmi. Delmi smashes homeboy in the head with a fucking chair. He goes down. And then what does Janai Kai do? She pulls a dipset. Bro, she pulled a pew. She's out, right?
She's gone.
I was like, wait, what the fuck just happened? This ain't Contra Union. Like, we supposed to fight to the graveyard, right? Like, so she pulls the dipset. I'm like, okay. Now, she did say, Delmy was mentioning Azteca, right? You don't know how we get down. Like, we move in silence. And I'm like, oh, Delmy's talking shit. This is the Delmy we've been wanting, right? We didn't want the bubbly Delmy Azteca girl. We want the badass Delmy. I'm okay with Delmy coming in and absolutely annihilating Janai Kai and let her have her time off, right? Like, she's been a champ for a year and a month, 13 months. I'm cool with it. Janai did her thing. It was our first real run with that belt that we were like, oh, shit. Delmy had some decent matches, but nothing where we go, this is what the featherweight division should be, right? We got that from Janai Kai. Also, Court has said there's going to be a new women's division with a new weight class. So I'm like...
Which confuses me a lot. Because why are you introducing that now when you could barely cover what we have now?
I was just going there with that, right?
The featherweight, you could barely cover the featherweight. So now you were saying that they're going to bring in a new division or a new weight class. So what? Heavyweight, smaller than featherweight, and then if what division is that? Where are you going to get these women from?
So I was thinking it might not be a solo. It might be a tag. Because if you bring in a heavyweight, right? Because the word heavyweight, I'm not even referring to women at heavyweight, right? I'm not saying a thick chick is a heavyweight. When you think of the heavyweight, you think of the world title. Because if I tell you, yo, Muffins Martinez won the heavyweight championship, exactly. No one's gonna say, oh, is that the lower end belt, right? Like, now everything that you worked for with the featherweight, if you're got a heavyweight, the featherweight sounds like a mid card.
Exactly, and then you move up to the heavyweight. United States heavyweight title, you go to the championship title.
And not for nothing, featherweight is light, right? That's why it's called
featherweight. Well, featherweight is like what, like 120?
Yeah. So
in boxing, I mean, something like that, or less.
What do we get? Straw weight?
So it should be called the women's open weight.
I'd be okay with that.
Goes. You know what I'm saying?
I'd be okay with that.
You know what I'm saying? The women's open weight title makes more sense because any weight goes into it. So
yeah, I don't mind Diva. I don't mind Knockout. Well, you can't do Knockout. That's Impact.
Yeah, I don't want the Diva. I don't want the Knockout. I like the featherweight, and I like whatever they're doing now. But if they say like an open weight, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I'd be good with that.
Yeah, but then like I said, you barely got what you have now. You keep promising that you're going to bring more women, and then we don't see them.
Like if your women are going to be the CMLL girls, you got to have a luchadoras or something like that.
Yes.
And
if
let it be
defending. Bring them, if you're going to bring them on a regular basis.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if we get a Persephone and Lubia and the girls we had in Atlanta,
yes,
right, like. If we start getting something like that, and that belt is defended also in CMLL, I'm golden with that.
For
I'll
sure.
take that any day.
For sure. You know, and what thing that obsesses me too, Tampa show. You had Renee Michelle, you had Gigi Ray, altercation. You think to yourself, oh wow, this is going to be the new thing with the females. Hey, I'm up for it. 2-3 months later,
they're not even on the card. Well, we don't know what the next. We don't know what was not taped yet. I haven't looked at any spoilers yet.
I know Gigi Ray was supposed to be on the taping, so
yeah. So I'm
we'll
good
see
with
what
that.
happens then. Yeah, but yeah. So and that should be coming up. I'm thinking maybe the next 2 or 3 weeks we'll get that show whenever they decide to shoot. I'm pretty sure it'll be in 2 weeks from now, because then you running into the fourth week. The 5th week is going to be hard because it's Black Friday weekend. And then you have your show December 5th, which is the first week in December.
Oh, so you got to put that out before that.
For this show, you got to put this out in probably next weekend or the following week. It's got to be done.
because you don't want to lose on the Black Friday shit. You don't want to lose those numbers.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose the momentum that you got now after last month. Unfortunately, hurricane cancellation.
Yeah,
and then we come back to the technical difficulties. The show drop. Now you definitely got people hungry, so you definitely want to jump on that.
And this was a pretty good show.
Right. So we move on. We see more stuff. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the shit that happened. Blah, 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 blah. We go to the main event, triple threat, and it's all Mexican wrestlers. And
wait. Let me ask you a question before you do that. So they bring out Kojima, who I'm not a fan of, right? I'm anti-Kojima at this point. And then Contra Unit comes out, beats the shit out of him, right? Matt Riddle comes out.
Yes.
Does the typical, he only knows 3 words, bro, and some random shit after that. And then Contra Unit puts the beats to them. Right? Like,
and like you said, they don't run.
No.
The faces said, why don't you put the titles on the line? And you think they're going to say no. And Grandpa, killing Grandpa over here, gets into the ring, something in Japanese like, let's go.
Yeah, and I love how Tom Lawler had a beef with
Dijak.
Dijak. I like that, right? I
that should be a good match coming up in December if they make it for the one shot.
Absolutely, and I like the fact that the other guy, I always forget his name, the guy who was doing the announcing, he was saying, you're not cleared yet, don't get in the ring.
No.
And Tom Lawler didn't act like a gangster tough guy.
No.
Like, he's like, yeah, I'm all right. Like, I'm all right. I'm not going to let him talk to me like that, blah, blah, blah. He didn't try to act like, yeah, I'm about that shit. He played into the role of, shit was crazy. You know what I mean? I just had to, defend my name, my character real quick. But Tom Lawler on commentary was lit, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes. I love Tom Lawler. And the fact he talked about the good guys high, the bad guys high, he wasn't like a heel or a face commentator. And even when the guy said, well, what do you think happened to El Jefe? He's like, why are you asking me? He goes, because you're a shady guy. So what makes me shady? Right? Like, so I liked everything from that. Dijak Lawler is one of MLW's best talents of all time. Right? Like, Lawler's super talented.
Yes.
So I love that. Going back into Contra Unit not running, I expected we're not gonna fight you right now. You're gonna have to wait for
exactly. That's what I was expecting too. I was thinking too.
I forgot what the word was. He said like young boy or he said
something in Japanese, and
he
placed the belt, and I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, and they said, in their culture, that means like you're beneath them, right? Like they explained what the slang was. And I was like, oh shit, Suzuki is talking crazy.
Murder Grandpa.
Kwon is he's bulked up big time. He's no longer, like featherweight Kwon. He's like fucking open weight Kwon, right? Like he's jacked up. So they put the beats to these guys. And I love the fact that they didn't try to make Matt Riddle look like fucking WWE Matt Riddle got to run through people, right? Like they legit went at it. And then Contra Unit just started OD choking people out, and they they're like, all right, this fucking fight's over. They put the yokes to these cats.
Yeah, so that was that match, and then we had the main event, Mystico, Cabernerio, and I forgot the other guy's name. And this is your typical Lucha Libre CMLL match. They fly, they go around, they do this. This match was pretty. Over 20 minutes, I think.
It was a long match.
It was a long match. And of course, the golden goose that I call Mexico got the victory. He's in the ring celebrating, and out of a sudden, here comes Cabernerio from the back, pulls the mask off. So now he's demanding a title match for the MLW middleweight. Don't know if it's going to happen one shot or if it's going to happen in January. I think it's going to be happening in January, I believe. I think so. I think he said enero, but I can't remember now if he did or not. But that was a good way to end the show. And like you mentioned, this was a heavy CMLL show. They were there to see CMLL wrestlers.
Yes.
It was all set up for that. It was mystical. It was the rest of the CML big guys. They came in. They were having, like I said, that meet and greet earlier. So that was the purpose of that whole show, was for that.
Yeah.
We're in Chicago, Cicero. We're close to the border. A lot of Mexicans are up here. Let's give them this show. And that's what it was. Now, we had the little nonsense in between with the renta. And then we know that Cesar got kidnapped. Towards the end, they find Cesar like Blair Witch Project looking against the wall, and then find them. And then all of a sudden, the renta's water broke.
Yeah.
So now she's leaking, which means she's about to have the baby. Okay, shit.
Yeah.
And then Cesar comes out, looks in his pocket, and finds something. So now we know that it was not Contra Unit that kidnapped them.
I never thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was. To be
No.
honest with you, I thought, okay, so Cruel is trying to send a message to everybody here. We're going to go back and start destroying things over again. But we
Eric
know.
Bischoff.
You think it's Bischoff?
No question it's Eric Bischoff. The style of it didn't make sense. Like, Contra Unit has no beef with El Jefe. He's done nothing to them. There's nothing, right? And when you think of, see, it's bad because when I've always making it seem like a drug reference, right? But to me, El Jefe
seemed like a drug reference.
I'm just saying, El Jefe to me always reminds me of a Manuel Noriega, a Pablo Escobar. He comes off like a cartel guy, right? El Chapo, probably more El Chapo. So he's come off to me like that. And you know what happens to those guys? Their runs aren't as long as people think. Like when people think of the Gottis and all these mob guys, their runs aren't as long as you think. You know why? Because somebody always wants your position. When you're the top dog, everybody wants you. This is what happens with all these kingpins and everything else. So when you're El Jefe and you piss people off, you're the top dog. We gotta come for you. We're down here. You're up here. We want your position. Who's the only person that's going to come in that wants that position as soon as they come in? Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
It's no question. It's no one else. I knew it wasn't Contra Unit. It was Eric Bischoff. Because Eric Bischoff, I'm telling you, we talked about this on the side and we were like, yo, I hope this is not a one and done.
Exactly.
If it works,
and,
I hope
and that's what I was going to say to the fans that we keep saying Eric Bischoff's name is because Eric Bischoff is coming in December 5th to host his own pay-per-view called One Shot. So Kurt Bauer has given him the reins to the show, and he's going to be the matchmaker in the show. And every match is going to be done by him. So we get to see exactly what Chef is mentioning, for if it's going to be just a one-time thing, or hopefully this turns into a more, lengthy partnership between both of them. Because I wouldn't mind having the mind of Eric Bischoff.
Oh, yeah.
Whispering stuff into my ear of how to work the company and stuff like that, especially if I've been stale for a while.
So
not to put him in charge, but I can like a special advisor. Like, what would you do in this situation? What can we do here? And get his feedback, man. I mean, that's 30 years of or more of knowledge in the wrestling business.
It's something that we were talking about prior, where we were also saying his connects in this industry are endless, right? Like, this is a very respected man. And I'm not saying you got to bring in, some old 70-year-old, 60-year-old beat of wash up. No, I'm not saying that. But if you think that you're out there and Eric Bischoff calls your motherfucking phone, you're not going to pick that shit up? Are you crazy? This is an opportunity. Not only that, Eric Bischoff, there's a big following. I'm a big fucking Eric Bischoff fan. I thought it was cool when he had the fucking gi on, acting like he was going to fight people in WCW, right? Like, this shit was fucking entertainment. But I'm gonna tell you now, there's two things I think that happened out of this scenario versus El Jefe. One, either the Road Horsemen are part of I would say El Jefe are rolling with Bischoff, because I think the Road Horsemen are more of a Bischoff kind of crew, or Dijak is his fucking hitman. And I know that right now he's with this goober, but listen, Dijak is way too gangster to be with this fucking clown, right? Like, so.
Yeah, he looks more like a Bischoff guy.
Oh, yeah. So those are my two targets. I think that the Rogue Horsemen are going to be doing Eric Bischoff's bidding, and I think that marriage is perfect. I think that'd be crazy if that's true. Yeah, they scream Bischoff, and they're endless at that point, right? Like, at that point, you're like, okay, Eric Bischoff has a legit crew that's coming in. They just beat Kane, right? They're obviously going to have some kind of beef with Bomaye Fight Club.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a 4-on-3 anyway. So you're like, all right, sure, whatever. But I'm telling you, Eric Bischoff is behind the fucking El Jefe thing. And not for nothing.
Go ahead.
Huh?
No, go ahead. What you going to say?
Yeah, I would say Della Renta's water breaking. Yeah. We don't know if she's on her mommy shit, right? Like, and more power to her. If Della Renta goes, you know what? I'm fucking hanging it up. I'm doing my mom thing. I enjoy life. Yo, she's a mom. Fuck the goofy shit. Fuck the, talking the wrestling shit. We talking real life shit. Yeah. If she's like, yo, I'm a mom. I'm gonna enjoy my fucking child and do what I do. Yo,
exactly. Because she's definitely gonna be out for a couple of months at least. So
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
She'll come back, unless it's something taped for the next 2 months. I don't see her.
Well, yeah, like this was taped.
Yeah,
this was pre-taped because we know she had the kid and she still had her baby belly going on. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So that's pre-taped already.
So anything else you want to talk about this one show, Apocalypto? Now I know that they already mentioned for May of next year. They already jumped ahead, and they're having another Lucha Apocalypto down in Chicago.
Yep.
Right from the Cicero, which means this partnership with CMLL is definitely paying off, and they're gonna ride this ride till there's nothing left to ride. Because I know I saw Mystico have a interview down in the ring down in Mexico, where he actually relinquished one of the belts that he was carrying there. Like, he was the champion for a year or whatever. But he's saying that he can no longer do the belt proud. It's guess like a belt that you do a lot of high flying and stuff. And he said, my body, I'm getting up in age. My body doesn't react well to all these moves, and he wanted to move to a different division. I think a heavier division.
Okay.
And he relinquished the one belt, and he had mentioned, I'm doing more stuff outside of here, doing stuff there. So we might see Mystico in his last couple of years left in his body performing at a high level. So I'm pretty sure Kurt Bauer is going to take any advantage he can of bringing, Mystico in, because that's Mystico's CMLL biggest draw is him.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mystico. I think he's a talented guy. Outside of the fact where I think if MLW is going to keep doing this with him and have him just run the belt until fucking he feels like giving it up, put a mouthpiece on this guy, right? Like, let somebody talk for him, because I want to see a promo. I want to like Mystico. I want to be more engaged with them. Also, why can't he wrestle fucking somebody from MLW? I mean, like, can we get somebody not from CMLL to wrestle this guy? So there's a lot of little things that kind of bug me with this. When you think of MLW right now, I think the three guys to me that scream we're MLW guys that are built in MLW. One is Alex Kane. That is MLW. The other one is Matthew Justice, and I'm going in the order of how long they've been there. Matthew Justice to me feels like an MLW guy, right? I'm like, okay, we've always liked his work. We've seen him in his tag team group when he was with, what's the guy who talked crazy with the beers?
Oh, Mance Warner.
Mance Warner. He came in with Mance Warner. He was doing his thing. We now see him with that guy. I never remember his name. He was from ECW or some bullshit.
Oh, Bill Alfonso.
Bill Alfonso. I'm glad he's not there because it does nothing for Matthew Justice.
Except for just blow the whistle.
Yeah, please. I could care fucking less. So Matthew Justice does his thing. We've seen 2 big matches with Matthew Justice in the same year with Kruger and now Bad Dude Tito. There's no, he didn't have the homie with him, so he's shining.
And they're supposed to have another match between them two, Cruel and Matt Justice, like another, crazy match day. It's going to be for the taping, so we'll get to see that coming up at whatever the next episode is. But so far, they got 2 matches for one shot, and they have Matt Riddle going up against Donovan Dijak.
Ooh,
so that's gonna be a good match.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good match, and they got Mystical going up against Trevor Lee.
Yeah, but that's the one that you felt was mad random, and I agree with you.
Yeah, and then it's for the title at that, for the middleweight championship. Dude, Trevor Lee hasn't wrestled here yet.
Yeah,
how the hell he
come in and get the title match? God.
Yeah, like how the hell he deserves a title match, and he hasn't been here. That's the type of booking that I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's a name. Everybody's excited.
Yeah, exactly. But
outside of that, Mystico is going to win.
Of course. And I don't see Matt Riddle losing to Dijak either.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think that Riddle loses. I don't know how or when he's going to just call his shit and try to get a title fight versus Kojima. Obviously it's going to happen. But
because Riddle has the, he won the golden ticket.
Yeah, so he gets to call it whenever he wants.
Yeah, so probably next year, most likely. Yeah,
I mean, we go from bad to fucking who cares, because whatever. But back to my point, BRG is the third guy. When I think of MLW right now, to me, BRG as an MLW guy? Hell yeah.
I thought you were going to say Tom Lawler.
Well, no. We know what Tom Lawler is.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom is doing his thing in I think, New Japan Strong or something like that.
Yeah.
He's working both.
Yeah.
Right? And we've got more in-ring work over this year with BRG than Tom Lawler.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's where I'm going with that. And I love the direction. Like, keep giving these guys. Akira's another one. I don't have to be a fan of the guy. But he's
surprised he wasn't at this show. I forgot about him.
That was weird to me, right? I was like,
I forgot about him.
Yeah, I was like, okay, where's his match? And he didn't have a match. It was kind of strange because they've been riding with Akira really strong.
Yeah.
And he just not on this card. And I'm like, all right, well, he'll probably be on the tapings. We'll see what the direction is after the walk.
I think it's supposed to be Akira versus Cruel in the tapings. Something like that. I forgot.
Yeah, because they were saying that the Weapons of Mass Destruction match.
Because they were supposed to have it in October, and then the hurricane happened, so they moved it to this taping. So yes.
Which, not for nothing, I'm curious to see how Akira plays out in this, because Weapons of Mass Destruction matches are way different than hardcore matches.
Yeah.
It's a little more gimmicky than the hardcore stuff. But you got to sell it, and I think this is where this should be Akira's strong point, right? Like, he's a deathmatch guy, and Cruel he's a big dude that takes a beating, right? Like, so I'm expecting something crazy from Akira. I don't want to see Akira be the super bleeder, which is probably going to happen. I want to see Akira as a more aggressive, looking kind of more like a heel, like I'm going to murder you kind of fucking vibe. Yeah. Because if we get that Akira, and it's not like just some fucking playful shit, I think Akira's going to take another leap, right? Like I'll go against these big motherfuckers and put the beats to them. So there's a lot of expectation to have from Akira, especially how well he's had his matches. We did see him come off his last match to Kenta with a loss. So I'm expecting a rebound. Yeah. The only problem is it's tough to rebound when you got to go against Mads Kruger, right? Like, especially when Kruger been trying to kill you for a while. So I think this could be a nice little finish to a story, and we'll see what Akira brings.
And I remember the last show before September, Cruel defeated Matthew Justice, like in that ambulance match or whatever.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was.
That match was crazy. So we got Crew coming off a win streak from one of those crazy matches.
And he mentioned the belt thing again. That the belt, there's power in titles. Yes. And I'm like, well, you lost to Kojima, right? Like every one of your crew has a title, but you don't.
That's still don't. I still don't understand how he. Yeah, I don't know why. Because I thought they would have pulled the trigger there and have him go up against Riddle next year. But hey,
and not for nothing.
What do we know?
And not for nothing, Azteca lost their power because they got nobody with a title right now.
Exactly. And then if the Renta's out for a couple of months, they definitely don't have anything, from Dorado, from Mercedes Dorado.
Except for
no voice. Yeah, so they might just fizzle and the grandfather or the father takes over, which is Cesar.
Yeah, which I'd be okay with.
Yeah. All right, do we have anything else for MLW?
No, sir.
All right. So we're gonna jump on to other news in the wrestling world. As we know, if you believe in under a rock, you've missed WWE ID, the new program that they go around. They're putting the little stamp on who they think will be or might be the next superstar. They already did a bunch last week. This week, they got Ice Williams from Reality of Wrestling, which is Booker T's wrestling down in Houston. So he got the ID stamped on him. Tomorrow, there's two guys or two individuals from Wrestling Open who are going to get ID tomorrow. They wouldn't mention the names, but they're going to announce two individuals who've been ID at Wrestling Open tomorrow on Thursday. That's the one that they usually do from Connecticut. So it should be interesting who two. I'm waiting for a tag team to get ID'd. That's what I'm waiting for, Chuff. For a tag team. And there's a tag team there that I like, and they're called Swipe Right.
Swipe Right?
Yeah, Swipe Right. Okay. There's a tag team there. Both of these kids, good-looking kids, have the physique that they're looking for, and they could build on those two kids in the future if they want to do that like that. So we'll see what happens there. And one interesting one from Championship Wrestling of Memphis.
Okay.
Yes, Saturday show. Dustin Starr with his wife resurrected Championship Wrestling from Memphis from back in those days. And this is the wrestling in Memphis that Dustin Starr bought a building that was there that they used to hold wrestling. And he built it over again. And they call it the Wrestle Center. And this is the place that you go in, you walk in, you have your food, you buy your merchandise, and then you have the ring, which is all the shows happen on Saturdays and Sundays. They hold, I think they can hold close to like 200, 250 people in there. So it's small, but it brings you that Saturday feeling from the days in TBS wrestling. And they also do their own training. And this is the one where Jonathan Gresham now signed full-time to wrestle and trained the students there. So they're supposed to have one person being ID'd from that show there, and they're going to announce it on Saturday. On the 80s. So, hey, I'm all for this ID thing, especially the lesser people that you know, the better, because that means that this is really working. If you go out to the people that we know, we already know she was going to get one, or he's going to get
you're trying to get that raw talent.
Exactly. We want people who are new that nobody heard of, instead of the same people that you saw, like, Sarah Steele. We know who she is. She definitely deserves it.
Oh, yeah.
The kid, the acrobat kid, Jack Carwheel. He's been doing that for years. He definitely deserves it, but we already know them. But the other guys that you see, like, oh, who's this guy? Oh, where's this guy from? Wrestling Open? What the hell is Wrestling Open? Stuff like that. So that's interesting. So we're looking forward to that one. And then the last bit of news, this one Chef is going to love. Your boy, Westside Gunn from Griselda, started his own wrestling company called Fourth Rope.
Okay, he teased this a little while ago.
He's been talking about that for a while. They had their first show in Chicago last week. Place is stacked with a lot of wrestlers from other wrestling companies. The main event, as a matter of fact, the commissioner's MVP is the commissioner for that for fourth Unbroken. And what he's trying to do, he's trying to mix wrestling with hip hop, with fashion, with arts, like arts and stuff. And we've seen
he's big into shit like that.
Yeah. And we've seen this before. Back in WrestleMania 1, Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
With Hogan. We've seen this already. We've seen this with rock and roll music mixing with wrestling. We've seen it right now with the Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corgan with the N.W.A. This is one thing that he does when they go out of the country and they have like a festival, like 3 days. They'll perform there and have those wrestling also later on that night. So
it's smart.
He's mixing the rock and the big name as Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, you I don't care who you are. You know who Smashing Pumpkin is. You've heard a song on the radio in the last 30 years.
It's smart. He's using his influence to bring attention in.
Yeah. So he brings the fans in that want the music to the wrestling, and the people that are there for the wrestling to the music. So either or, you're buying a ticket to see two good things: N.W.A. and Smashing Pumpkins. Period. But they had the first show down in like I said, in Chicago. They have P-Rock, DJ Premier were there that night. They spoke to the crowd. So he brought our heavy hitters from the music business there.
Yeah, facts.
In the main event, they had your boy Sila Fatu, another member of the Bloodline Kids, going up against Moose. And he defeated Moose, and now he's the new fourth rope champion of whatever that little company there.
Yeah, now, I gotta Google what the belt looks like. I'm curious.
When the next show is, they didn't mention that, so I don't know when the next show is gonna be. But what do you think of a rapper of his stature, Westside Gunn, member of Griselda from here, Buffalo, New York, getting into the wrestling business, especially into something like this here? And so, dude, the show was packed. They had the same entrance like TNA used to have with the one tunnel. And if you look it up on YouTube, it looked like a TNA show because of the ring, the colors of the ropes. I thought, like, TNA having a show on the week? I didn't know that. And then I found out it was fourth rope. So if you go on YouTube, check it out and tell me what you think about it.
No, for sure. We'll definitely, next time we jump on it, we'll talk some shit about it. I love it. I love Griselda. I think they're one of the best rap groups in the last 40, 50 years. I'm high on them.
Whoa.
Dude, I put them up there with Mobb Deep, G-Unit, Wu-Tang. I put them up there with all those. Griselda's legit.
This is not a hip-hop show, so I'll keep my comments short on that one.
My bad. All right.
This is worse. This is worse than your top 20 tag teams, better than Machine Guns that are going to argue Saturday night for an hour.
So, listen, I'm all for it. I'm excited for it. I'll have to watch this, and then we'll talk some shit on it, right? Like, it's what
I don't know if the show is there. I'm just saying if you.
I'll find clips. Don't have highlights.
Yeah, maybe that's some videos. You can see how the whole atmosphere in the ring was. Like I said, it looked like a TNA show, and they had
I'm with it.
A lot of indie, a lot of TNA people, AEW people were there. Like I said, MVP is the commissioner. The Sila Fatu is the champion, and we'll see in the future what more belts they bring out. If they'll have a women's division, stuff like that. But from what I saw, it looked good because it was completely sold out.
No, listen, he's a big name. He's going to use his popularity to bring people in. He's got the bag, so he's definitely good money. He's the guy who, if you don't know, a lot of his hip-hop songs have wrestling references, right? Like, it's what he does. And also, as of an hour ago, Kings of Coliseum, Saturday, January 2nd, is going to be in North Richland Hills, Texas, MLW. So January 2nd, Kings of Coliseum, Texas. That's big news of an hour ago. I just seen it now. It's like, okay.
Wow, and that's the day after New Year's.
Yeah, literally right there. And it shows Atlantis. So
wow, okay. That's huge.
So at least we know, look, they got some shit. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm more excited for, I want to see what Bischoff does. I want to see a Bischoff product. I don't want to see an MLW product. I want to see something different. Bischoff, if he's really going to be a matchmaker, I think this could fucking put MLW in a good position.
Well, it's just for this one show, one shot.
As of right now.
As of right now, yes, as of right now. Exactly. But I'm glad you just mentioned that MLW already in January, because I know they already have the February thing they're looking for in March. And like we mentioned, they already have, or starting, I think, at the next month, the show for May.
Yeah.
So they definitely have a schedule set. And unfortunately, this just means, bad news for you, because you want a weekly show. This looks like it's going to be, again, that monthly format, unless they do a big show taping there, and then they split the next 4 weeks when they could do an hour show, 2 matches and a bunch of stuff in between there. And
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with 2 matches.
You can that for the whole month. You do 3.5 hours of just matches, and maybe have 1 or 2 things in the ring, and the rest of the stuff in the back.
Yep.
Yes, and stuff like that. You can pull the show 2 matches, 3 matches at a time. 1 show, 3 matches. 1 show, 2 matches, and you put a lot of vignettes in between. With the commercials, you can put it 45, 50 minutes if it's going to be on YouTube.
Listen, if they gave me 35 minutes a week,
oh God,
I'd be okay. 35. Bro, I don't want to see fucking every 3-4 weeks.
No. I want more than 35 minutes though. Give me at least 45.
All right. I mean,
I'm greedy. Anything over 40 because of commercials, I'm happy.
Okay, I'll go with that. Anything over 40 because of commercials, I'm with it.
Because we know that they still show the show on Being Sports, so they'll have commercials. So they'll definitely be over 40 minutes. But if you put it on YouTube with no commercials, I want 40, 45 minutes max.
Okay, I'm with that.
I'll be happy with that. Give me 2 good matches that go 15 minutes each in between your vignettes and stuff like that, and some inside, interview in the back with some wrestlers. I'll be happy because at least you have some storyline every week going forward.
I agree. So, I think we're good.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about that you've seen other than that?
That's what I've been doing when you were talking. I've been searching through all types of platforms to see if I see anything.
And I'm going to look for the next episode and more about Fourth Rope and see, what he has going on, if they're going to build something out of it, so if they're going to,
let me say,
be like a monthly thing. I want to look up and see.
For anybody who watches this, if we miss something, throw a comment in there.
Yes, please.
We try to give you content of everything we see and we like and we want to talk and we have fun. We talk.
And you know me. I'm scouring every wrestling that I could find. You know me. I look through everything, bro, and I be finding stuff like, what the hell is this? And if it's worthy, then I write it down on my little trusty notepad of wrestling that I have now. Every time I got to write it down for the next show.
You know what I'm saying? So we sit here, we talk
everything wrestling. We want to bring you everything in. You will never get any spoilers from us. You will never hear us kiss anybody's ass about, this. No. You're going to hear the hard, cold truth from us. And sometimes we might go overboard. I know I do go crazy sometimes overboard. It just happens. We might exaggerate on something, but just know it's just us just giving you the information out there. And if it's something wrestling related, small or big, we will tell you, especially these WWE ID guys, stuff that's happening in AEW. We watch, even if we don't watch it like that religiously, we pick up stuff because YouTube is a great place and also X, formerly
Yeah.
Twitter, they
Yeah.
put everything there. So you can miss wrestling. You can watch a wrestling match or a wrestling show in less than half an hour now on X.
Very true. So listen, like, subscribe, share, all that good shit. This is what we do. We have fun. We talk our shit.
Yes.
And like I said, man, a wrestling fan, throw us some help. Tell them, subscribe to the homies real quick. Help us get to 1K. That's the goal, right? Help us get to 1K. We're at like 740 something, 750. I don't know what the fuck it is. But it is what it is, man.
It's a slow climb. It's a slow climb.
It's a slow climb, absolutely.
Yeah, don't make me go buy some subscribers either.
No, hell no. So listen, like, subscribe, share, all that good shit. For myself, Muffin Martinez, we out of here till next week. Deuces.
Deuces.